you'll see who our board is for 2013. So it's really a remarkable group of companies. At least as remarkable is the 20,000 individual developers, and that number grows daily. We do a lot of different things. We do research, we do advocacy in the public policy space, in the legal space. We spend a lot of time working on mobile app privacy. Some of you might have seen some of that in the press, some of you might have written about some of that. And we do events, we're doing some interesting research, webinars. We have a great group of supporting board members, and we thought today would be a great opportunity to bring them together for a few minutes and basically introduce them to you and let you all just break off and have a bottle of water and chat with them. So there is really, as far as I know, no formal presentation. It is really just an introduction. So if our board members want to come up here, I'll just do a quick introduction and let you know who they are, and then you can, or if you want to just stand up, you can just stand up, and then I'll point them out. And I'm here to answer any questions. Jake Ward can answer questions, my colleague, and our board members are here to chat with you about the Alliance and about the show and about what they're doing. So in order of which they're walking up, Hod Greeley is with Samsung. Samsung is one of our newest board members. And I'm not going to go through their bios because I'll just screw it up. So I am pleased that Hod's joined. Andrew Maltin's been with us from day one. Andrew runs Metal Mobile in Southern California. And Robert Scoble, many of you probably know, at Rackspace, and I would say urban legend, but it's real. And
I get around the startup community.
That's right. That's right. We're just blessed to have really good people who, frankly, are not only supporting, but they sort of kick our butts in a supportive way. So we have a really sharp board. Alex Donn, who I'm going to let him speak for himself. It's a really cool device he's wearing.
I'm with the AT&T and the developer program. I'm a dev evangelist.
Right. So Alex is, and one of the things about the Alliance is, in some cases, we have people with very big titles who are on our board, and in some cases we have people who seemingly have, they're not chief marketing officer or something, but they're people who are working in the developer community every single day. And so while Hod is with a big company, and Alex is with a big company, and Robert's with a big company, their life, their mission is to support developers and to support the development ecosystem, and so when they sit at our table, they're really trying to help us help the same folks that they're working with every day. They don't come to the table with their Samsung hat on or their AT&T hat on. They come to the table with the community's hat on. And so in a sense, it's a contribution when they work with us, and we value it very much. So I'm really pleased just to have them here today. I appreciate that they took a few minutes out of what is a busy show. I know you took a few minutes. So I'm happy to answer a couple of questions here, or frankly just to step down and mingle a little bit. There is no reason you all need to stay in your seats. Next year there'll be couches, right? We'll make it even more comfortable. And there'll be beer. That's all I can promise you. But otherwise, if anybody wants to ask a question now, that's great. Otherwise,
I'd like to know if there's anything hitting developers here at the show that other people should be aware of. If anybody has any feedback to that.
What was that?
Anything that you've seen that could affect developers around the world. For instance, I had lunch. For instance, I had dinner with General Motors and Ford, and they're really working to get developers into the car systems, right? So we're trying to work with them. But I just spent some time at PrimeSense seeing the new 3D sensors. PrimeSense makes the Microsoft Kinect sensor, and that's going to open up a whole range of developer opportunities. Love to hear if anything. That's what we'd love to talk over at Cookies about. If you see anything that's happened here at the show that you think developers need to be worried about or know about.
Right. And of course, DevU is happening right in that room. The television manufacturers are working hard to get developers to focus on their products and their APIs. So there's a lot of opportunity for developers, probably more opportunity than there are developers right now. And so we're going to spend a lot of time talking about how to identify great developers, how to find them, and how to get more of them into the ecosystem, because there's just a lot of work that needs to be done. So That's all we've got, unless somebody has a specific question. Yes, sir, in the back.
Major goals for 2013?
I would say, in an offensive way, we want to continue to raise the profile of the value of developers, right? The economic benefit. We put out a study 4 months ago, 5 months ago, that talked about 519,000 jobs being created around in the app economy on a state-by-state basis. And there were some counterintuitive states. You know, we all talk about California, or we talk about New York, but there are some places like New Mexico. There's places like Delaware, because of the financial services industry, where there's an extraordinary number of developer jobs and contribution to the economy. We often talk about, the mainstream media will often write the story about the kid in the garage who, you know, writes the game and he hits it big, but when I talk to the big companies and when we talk to even the medium-sized companies, the opportunities to write healthcare apps, the opportunities to use the new payment systems apps, or to write new payment systems apps that create more efficiencies, that create better healthcare outcomes. You know, talking about those, in a sense, maybe changing the mindset among the aspiring developers. Don't learn how to write code because you want to write the new crossword puzzle game and make $1 billion. Go write a healthcare app because it's reimbursable when people use it. And that's a really good place to make money. And these guys work with serious healthcare companies building healthcare app platforms and devices and, you know, apps that do all sorts of great things for people. And so sort of changing that discussion, sometimes it makes it a little less sexy, but it's real. There's real jobs, it's a real growth economy, it's really global. It's not just, you know, as some members of Congress might think, you know, crazy app developers selling games and stealing your data and, you know, and then pushing ads that you don't really want or things like that. There's a lot of great work being done. There's a lot of solid work being done. I think we did the study with GigaOM, the survey with GigaOM. Again, counterintuitive data. Maybe not to you because you're in the system, but the average developer isn't a 17-year-old kid or a 22-year-old kid. Now it's a 35 or 40-year-old person with a college degree and maybe 2 or 3 degrees who works for a company and does some work on the side and things like that. So reinforcing or reinforcing those narratives is very, very important. I think we've been very active here in the States. I expect we'll be more active in Europe and Latin America in the next year. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of harmonization around, you know, laws, tax laws, just rules of mobile business. So to the extent we can help create efficiencies internationally, we're interested in doing. I think that's... Yes, sir.
I'm wondering if you could recommend any kind of you know, really cool tools or resources that we maybe want to check out if we're into development. Here I see that it says you have some very useful things, but I'm just curious if you have anything that stands out that you would.
So we just launched our resource center, which is called Devs Build It, devsbuild.it. I think we launched it 2 weeks ago, and it's got several hundred pieces of content in there. It is where we're going to house all of our webinars, all of our video, and all of our video footage, and where many of our members are putting up their educational materials. So if you ask me what device I use, I won't tell you, because I love all my children equally. You might see me using it, but you might see me using a different one tomorrow. So honestly, the first answer is I'm not a developer, and my judgment about what tools you might want to use to write your next app is not going to be a great, you don't want to go there. But you go to Devs Build It, you ask those questions, and I think all of our members and the individual members, you go into our Devs Build It, and you've got a forum with the 20,000 developers. Dig around and see what you can find, and then let's figure out a way to surface those.
And it'll vary by platform, and then it'll vary from week to week, right? We were just talking about the new platforms that are open source, the Samsung, and
don't ever get stuck on one product or one tool, right? Yes?
Hi. Well, would you gentlemen mind introducing yourself and talking a little bit about how you're working with developers?
Sure. Wow.
So my name is Greeley, and I'm actually head of developer relations in the U.S. for Samsung. I actually come from an engineering background myself, and this kind of got my interest in kind of moving into this field. So, like John was saying, that we're kind of part of this because we relate to the system, I think, and want to be helping people. But yeah, basically, I'm part of a global team. We're focused on the Americas, out there doing what we can to help people out and all that stuff. So.
How do you actually work with developers, though?
How do we work with developers? We work with them in a number of ways. So